Yo YouTube, what's going on? Welcome back to Keel's Got Time. Keel's parched. But yeah, welcome back to Keel's Got Time, people. And today, because Keel's got some time, we're going to be reacting to the creepy ways loneliness changes your brain. Now, I've felt loneliness. I've never truly been lonely. Like, I've always had a friend. You know, someone I can text, even whether it's my sister. But yeah, I've definitely felt it though, especially these past couple of weeks. I felt quite lonely. Yeah, y'all don't want to hear about my life. Let's jump straight into it. The creepy ways loneliness changes your brain. Lego.
Number 1. Why loneliness triggers your brain's survival mode. You might think being alone just makes you a little sad, maybe bored. But to your brain, loneliness is far more serious. It's not a quiet, emotional state. It's a biological alarm. Throughout human history, being isolated from the group usually meant one thing: danger. You were more likely to starve, get attacked, or simply not survive. So, the brain evolved to see social isolation as a real threat. And when it senses that threat, it activates your survival systems. One of the first regions to light up is the amygdala, your brain's emotional smoke detector. It becomes hypersensitive. Every glance, every silence, every little rejection feels bigger. You start to perceive neutral situations as negative. A friend not texting back feels personal. A stranger not smiling feels hostile. And it doesn't stop there. Loneliness also activates the hypothalamus, which turns on your fight-or-flight response. Your body pumps out more cortisol, the stress hormone. Your heart beats faster, your muscles tense up, as if you're preparing for a threat that never comes. In short, your brain thinks loneliness is a life-or-death emergency. It wants you to reconnect. But ironically, the same changes that are meant to protect you often make you withdraw even more. And this is just the beginning. Number 2, the chemical fallout, cortisol and dopamine imbalance. Loneliness doesn't just feel bad, it biochemically damages you. When your brain enters survival mode due to social isolation, it starts flooding your system with cortisol, the stress hormone. At first, cortisol is helpful. It gives you energy and alertness. But when it's constantly elevated, it starts to wreck everything. Your immune system, weakened, your blood pressure, raised, your ability to focus or feel motivated, diminished. And while cortisol rises, something else falls: dopamine, the neurotransmitter that makes you feel pleasure, reward, and connection. In lonely people, dopamine circuits become underactive. Things that used to feel enjoyable, music, food, hobbies, start to feel dull or pointless. You begin to withdraw more. Not because you want to, but because your brain isn't offering the chemical rewards that usually come with interaction. It's a vicious cycle. The lonelier you feel, the harder it becomes to escape that loneliness. Over time, this imbalance
That
also
is
affects your sleep.
straight facts, bro. The lonelier you feel, the harder it becomes to escape it. That is straight facts. And everything else he said. Also about like when a friend not texting back and it feels personal. Like that's really happened to me. That's such a real thing, and you all know too. Like, I remember recently, as I was going from my loneliness phase, like I've literally been and going through everything that this guy's talking about. And like, there's a time that like Cameron would say a date that we're gonna go record. It comes to that date and he decides he wants to go chill with his girlfriend instead. Like, that shit, it felt personal. It felt personal. But I had to like tell myself Keel, it's not personal. Like, this guy's in some long distance, not really long distance, but this guy is in distanced relationship. Like, it's not personal. I had to just remind myself of that, but it's a real thing. And it hurts, It really, really hurts because you don't mean to be like this. It just happens. Sad times, man.
Patterns, memory, and even decision-making. Some researchers call chronic loneliness a slow-motion stress response, one that leaves your body in a constant state of subtle emergency. And the scariest part? You might not even notice it's happening until you've already changed. Number 3, loneliness literally shrinks parts of your brain. Yeah, you heard that right. Chronic loneliness can physically change the structure of your brain, and not in a good way. One of the first areas affected is the hippocampus, the region responsible for memory, emotional regulation, and learning. In long-term loneliness, this part of the brain actually shrinks. Brain scans show reduced volume and connectivity in people who've been socially isolated for extended periods. It's the same kind of deterioration we see in depression and even early Alzheimer's. But it doesn't stop there. The prefrontal cortex, which helps you plan, make decisions, and regulate your emotions, also takes a hit. Loneliness weakens this area's activity, making it harder for you to think clearly or control negative thoughts. That's why lonely people often feel mentally foggy or emotionally unstable. It's not just in their head metaphorically, it's in their head literally. Even your brain's default mode network, the system that activates when you're not focused on a task, like when you're daydreaming or reflecting, starts behaving differently. It becomes more self-critical, more ruminative, and less optimistic. You get stuck inside your own head, replaying your mistakes, overthinking conversations, and assuming the worst. So yes, loneliness doesn't just feel heavy.
That is also true about replaying your mistakes, bro. I know everyone does this. Always replay your mistakes in your head, going over what you did. And it's weird because you find a way, like every single situation that's happened in your life, you find a way to blame yourself for it. I know I did, at least. And like, I take self accountability to the extremes inside my own head. And I mean to the extremes. And yeah, obviously it's very, very damaging. Very damaging.
It rewires your brain, weakens critical regions, and makes it harder to escape the very trap you're stuck in. Number 4, why nothing feels rewarding anymore. When you're lonely for too long, even things you used to love start to feel empty. That's not laziness. That's your reward system breaking down. Normally, your brain releases dopamine when you do something enjoyable. Talk to a friend, listen to music, eat your favorite food. But loneliness rewires that whole system. Your brain starts releasing less dopamine, and it becomes less responsive to it. This is called reward system desensitization. So even when you try to engage, go for a walk, call someone, cook something, you feel nothing. No joy, no energy, just numbness. And the more this happens, the more likely you are to retreat back into isolation. It's a cruel paradox. Your brain needs connection to feel pleasure, but the lack of pleasure makes you avoid connection. This is the loneliness loop, and it mimics the same patterns seen in addiction and depression. Even your ventral striatum, a core part of your brain's reward center, becomes less active. This means your motivation drops, your curiosity fades, and your desire to explore the world shrinks. That's why lonely people often say things like, "I don't feel like myself anymore," because in many ways, they aren't. Their brain isn't reacting to the world the same way it used to. But here's the twist, that change isn't permanent. Number 5, your brain can heal, and it wants to. Here's the part people rarely talk about. Your brain wasn't designed to stay broken. It was built to recover, to reconnect, rewire, and rebuild, even after years of loneliness. Neuroscience has a name for this: neuroplasticity. It means your brain is always capable of change.
That's
When
what
you
that
start
means.
reconnecting with
Huh.
people, even in small, low-pressure ways, your brain...
I used to always hear that. I thought neuroplasticity was like literally some surgical operation on your brain. I didn't know it was just the phrase for your brain rebuilding itself. Cool.
begins to reverse the damage. The hippocampus can regrow. The dopamine system can reawaken. The amygdala can calm down. It doesn't happen overnight, but it happens. And no, this doesn't mean you need 100 friends or constant social activity. Just meaningful moments, a walk with someone you trust, a real conversation instead of small talk. Even moments of shared silence can re-engage your social brain. Practices like mindfulness, journaling, and even therapy can help your brain relearn safety. Over time, your sleep improves, your energy returns, and the world starts to feel less threatening and more alive. The key is to take the first small step, not because you're broken, but because your brain is trying to heal. It just needs a signal from you that it's safe to come back. So if you've been feeling numb, anxious, or detached, it doesn't mean you're lost. It means your brain has been waiting. And now, it's time to return. So let's wrap this up. Your brain isn't broken. It's just responding to a world it doesn't feel safe in. Loneliness made it hyper-alert, chemically drained, and emotionally numb. But that's not the end of the story. Because even now, right now, it's listening, waiting for something simple, connection. It doesn't need to be loud or dramatic, just real. Say hi to someone, sit in sunlight, write down a thought, take one step out. That's how it begins. That's how your brain remembers who you really are, and it will thank you, quietly but powerfully.
Thank you, Friendly Explains, for that video. That was a very, very informative video. I actually really like that video. I could resonate with like damn near everything he said, and everything he said is really true. But I feel like for me, my thing, the way, from watching this video, the way I can tell that I was going through it was my drawings. I got back into drawing. I bought myself my own little sketchbook, my own little pencils, and like, you know, I just got back into it. I was doing my sketches and everything, and then I just fell off. And then I was like, you know what, let me just draw again. Tried drawing again, and I didn't feel it. I didn't feel the joy that I felt from completing my drawing as I previously did with every other drawing. I'm thinking to myself, like, why is this not fun for me? Now, I usually like to just put my tunes on or put a video on in the background, just get to sketching, but it wasn't fun anymore. I got no enjoyment out of it, no nothing, and it felt really pointless. And now that he's explained that, it all makes sense now. So it was a very, very good video. And therapy, I don't know with therapy. I've always had an issue with therapy, and I don't even really know what it is. I don't know why I don't like talking to people. I hate talking to people about my problems. And I feel like if therapists didn't get paid, I'd trust them more. Like if this was just voluntary work, I'd trust them. But because they're getting paid, I'm not necessarily saying that, you know, every therapist is doing it for monetary gain. That's not what I'm saying. But they're getting paid. So there's incentive to just listen to you. But yeah, man, I don't know. I feel like I'm still in a bit of a loneliness epidemic. But I'm slowly, I'm slowly coming out of it. I'm slowly trying to fix myself, work on myself more. Yeah, man, it's been hard. It has been hard, definitely. Oh gosh. But that's all for another video anyway. Anyway, peace, love, prosperity. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Later. I had to have hit it that time. I had to have hit it. No? Really?